Geobyte.
Hello friends, welcome to the Geobyte. In this video, we will discuss very simple problem but important. These are all equally important for both RRB JE and SSC JE. These are all the problems from shear force and bending moment diagrams. You please watch this video till the last problem. Look at the very first problem. In a beam where the shear force diagram changes sign, the bending moment will be. As we know, my dear friends, wherever the shear force diagram changes its sign from negative to positive or positive to negative, the bending moment will be maximum. That means maximum bending moment is occurring wherever the shear force diagram is changing its sign. Option C is absolutely correct. Let us move to the next problem. Read the second problem. When a simply supported beam is subjected to transverse downward load on the load, the maximum compressive stress developed. It is like this. It is a simply supported beam. This may be the simply supported beam. This is the beam. This is the axis of the beam. Once it is loaded, the beam may be bending like this. The beam may be bending like this. The neutral axis of the beam may be like this. This may be the neutral axis. This is the neutral axis. Look at the beam. All the fibers which are above the neutral axis are compressing, and all the fibers below the neutral axis are extending. Therefore, tensile force or tension is developed in the down layers. Compressive force is developed in the top layers. It is asked where we are finding the maximum compressive stress. The maximum compressive stress are found on the extreme top fiber. That is, let this the KL. If I assume KL be the extreme top fiber, on that extreme top fiber, maximum compressive stress are developed. Similarly, on the extreme bottom layer, on the extreme bottom fiber, maximum tensile stress are developed. So at this section, maximum tensile stress are developed. On this particular layer, maximum compressive stress are developed. With this information, let us select the option. Once again, let us read the problem. When a simply supported beam is subjected to transverse downward load, the maximum compressive stress on the topmost fiber. Therefore, option B is absolutely correct. Let us go for the next problem. Look at the third problem. When a load on the free end of a cantilever beam is increased, failure will occur. The problem for cantilever beam. This may be the cantilever beam. The load is applied like this. This is the free end load W. When load is increasing, the if load W increases, bending moment at the fixture, bending moment at fixture increases. If the bending moment at the fixture increases, the chances of failure is more at this fixture level. So anyhow, the chance of failure is more at the fixed end. Therefore, option B is absolutely correct. Once again, when the load on the free end of the cantilever beam increases, bending moment at the fixed end increases. Because of that, chances of failure is more at the fixed end. At this location, chance of failure is more. Let us go for the next problem. Read the fourth problem. A simply supported beam of length 2L, length of the beam L equal to 2L, is carrying a point load 2W. Point load, let it be W dash equal to 2W at the center of the beam. The maximum deflection at the midspan, where E is the Young's modulus, I is the moment of inertia. Dear friends, when a simply supported beam is subjected to a point load at the middle of the span, means this length is L by 2, the other side length also L by 2. Then the maximum deflection, delta maximum, is equal to formula WL cube by 48 EI. This is the standard formula. That is the formula to find the maximum deflection. But it is given that load is increased by twice. So W is becoming 2W, L becomes 2L, 2L whole cube divided by 48 EI. Now you simplify it. It is equal to 2W into 8L cube divided by 48 EI. 8 multiplied by 2 equal to 16WL cube by 48 EI. 16 3 times. Here it is 16 3 times. Finally it is WL cube by 3 EI. So this is the formula to decide the maximum deflection at the center of the beam when the load is doubled and the length is also doubled. WL cube by 3 EI. Look at the options. WL cube by 48 EI, it is not correct. WL cube by 3 EI, absolutely correct. Option B is correct. I hope you understood. Let us move to the next problem. Look at the next problem. A simply supported beam is subjected to a point load 50 kN at a distance of 5 meters from the left support. Total span is 10 meters. The maximum bending moment is. The problem is given for a simply supported beam is loaded at a distance of 5 meters. This is the 5 meters. While the length of the beam is 10 meters. Since the total length is 10 meters, the load 50 kN is acting at 5 meters from the left support. Therefore, that load is exactly at the middle of the beam. Then the maximum bending moment is developed at the middle that maximum bending moment equal to WL by 4. WL by 4. It is equal to W given 50, L is given 10 by 4. It is equal to 50 multiplied by 4, no, 2.5. So 50 into 2.5, that 50 into 2.5 equal to 125 Newton. It exactly, since the load is in kilonewton meter, 1 minute. It is kilonewton meter. 125 kilonewton meter. That is the answer. Look at the options. Option B 125 Newton meter. Option C 125 kilonewton meter. Here units are very important. Therefore, option C is absolutely correct. 125 kilonewton meter. I hope you understood. Let us move to the next problem. Look at the next problem. Point of contraflexure is the point, point of contraflexure is the point where the bending moment diagram changes its sign from positive to negative. The point of contraflexure generally occurring with the overhanging beam. You cannot find the point of contraflexure either in simply supported beam or cantilever beam. So anyhow, the point of contraflexure is the point where the bending moment changes its sign either from positive to negative or negative to positive. Therefore, option D is absolutely correct. Let us go for the next problem. Look at the seventh problem. The bending moment diagram for a simply supported beam loaded at its center. Problem is the simply supported beam has a point load at the center. This is the L. It means this is the L by 2 and this is also L by 2. Let this is the A where the bending moment at A equal to 0. This is the B where the bending moment at B equal to 0. And maximum bending moment at center, maximum bending moment, let that is C, maximum bending moment at the center C equal to WL by 4. WL by 4. Therefore, the bending moment diagram may be looking like this. At A, bending moment is 0. At A, bending moment is 0. At B also bending moment 0. Bending moment at B equal to 0. Bending moment at A equal to 0. Exactly at the center, bending moment is maximum. Then the bending moment diagram may be looking like this. This is how the bending moment diagram is looking. At this center, you are finding the maximum bending moment. That maximum bending moment equal to WL by 4. Look at the geometric shape of the bending moment diagram. This is the geometric shape of the bending moment diagram. It is looking like a isosceles triangle. Therefore, option B can be selected. Option B is absolutely correct. Remember, when a simply supported beam has a point load at its center, the geometric shape of the bending moment diagram is isosceles triangle. Shall we move to the next problem? Yes. Look at the eighth problem. Simple bending equation is, bending equation is E by R equal to M by I equal to sigma by Y. This is the bending equation. This is the bending equation where E equal to Young's modulus, R equal to radius of curvature. It is R radius of curvature, not radius of gyration. Radius of gyration is different from the radius of curvature. M equal to bending moment, I equal to moment of inertia, sigma equal to bending stress. That bending stress may be either compressive in nature or tensile in nature. Y equal to centroidal distance or distance from neutral axis to outermost layer. So anyhow, this is the bending equation. Look at the options. Option A, E by R equal to M by I equal to F by Y. Here he might be used the symbol F for stress. Generally it is denoted by sigma, no problem. Therefore option A, this is the bending equation. I hope you understood. Let us go for the next problem. Look at the ninth problem. The bending moment diagram for a cantilever beam subjected to moment at the end of the beam. It is like this. The cantilever beam is subjected to moment like this. This may be the moment. A cantilever beam is subjected to moment at the free end. Then the bending moment diagram is looking like a rectangle. So the bending moment diagram is looking like a rectangle when the cantilever beam is subjected to moment at the free end. Remember, if the same cantilever beam is subjected to point load at the free end, the bending moment diagram looks like a triangle. You should read the problem clearly before going to answer. I hope you clearly understood. Let us go for the next problem. Look at the problem. The section modulus is equal to, as we know, the bending equation is E by R equal to M by I equal to sigma by Y. This is the bending equation. If I take the second part, it will be looking like this. Bending moment by I equal to sigma by Y. Bending moment M equal to I by Y into sigma. Dear friends, remember the quantity I by Y is called section modulus. The quantity I by Y is called section modulus. Section modulus denoted by Z. Therefore, bending moment M equal to section modulus Z into sigma. What is asking? Section modulus. Therefore the section modulus, Z equal to bending moment by stress. That means the ratio between the bending moment and bending stress will be ideally equal to section modulus. Ratio between the bending moment and bending stress. So therefore option B is absolutely correct. Ratio between the bending moment and bending stress ideally equivalent to the section modulus. I hope you understood. Let us go for the next problem. Look at the 11th problem. The radius of gyration of a circular section. It is not for radius of curvature. It is the radius of gyration. As we know, radius of gyration generally denoted by K equal to root over I by A. That is the radius of gyration. Here I equal to moment of inertia. That moment of inertia equal to pi by 64 into d power 4. A equal to area of cross section equal to pi by 4 into d square. Let us put those values. Otherwise, let us find the I by A separately. I by A. I equal to pi by 64 into d power 4 divided by pi by 4 into d square. This pi is cancelled 4 16 times, d square is cancelled. Finally, I by A equal to d square by 16. D square by 16. Here I by A equal to d square by 16. It can be written as d by 4 whole square. This whole square and root both are cancelled. Finally, it is d by 4. That is the radius of gyration for a circular section. He is asking the radius of gyration for a circular section. So d by 4. Look at the answer, d by 4. So option B is absolutely correct. So here whether it is capital D or small d, I took small d, he might be taken capital D. That is immaterial. Anyhow, the radius of gyration for a circular cross section is d by 4. I hope you understood. Let us go for the another problem. Look at the problem. The flexural formula is applicable where we have flexural formula, the bending equation, E by R equal to M by I equal to sigma by Y. This is the bending equation, can also be called as the flexural formula. Option A, we have bending stress and shear stress. No, shear stress is 0. Shear stress 0, but bending stress must be existing. So bending stress but shear stress is 0. Option C is absolutely correct. This particular formula is applicable wherever the bending stress are developed in the absence of shear force or the shear stress. Anyhow, the option is bending stress but shear stress is 0. I hope you understood. Let us go for the next problem. Look at the next problem. The section modulus is the ratio of, bending moment M equal to section modulus times the bending stress. Therefore, section modulus equal to bending moment by bending stress. That is the section modulus. Options: bending stress to bending moment. No. It may be shear stress to bending moment. No. Bending moment to maximum bending stress. Bending moment to maximum bending stress. Therefore, option C is absolutely correct. The ratio between the bending moment and maximum bending stress ideally equivalent to the section modulus. Remember, it is just section modulus, not polar section modulus. Look at the problem. Strain energy in bending is, that means strain energy in terms of bending moment. Strain energy in terms of bending moment generally denoted by U equal to m square L by 2EI, where m equal to bending moment, L equal to length of the bar, E equal to Young's modulus, I equal to moment of inertia. So anyhow, this is the strain energy mathematical formula in terms of bending stress. Therefore, option B is absolutely correct. M square L by 2EI be the strain energy due to bending moment. Let us go for the next problem. Look at the next problem. PL cube by 3I. PL cube by 3I is the deflection under the load P of a cantilever beam length L, E equal to Young's modulus, I equal to moment of inertia, the strain energy due to bending. As we know, the strain energy U equal to half into load into deflection. Half into load into deflection is the strain energy. It is equal to half into load is P, deflection is given, so this is the deflection. The deflection is P L cube by 3EI. 3EI. Simplify this value, P square L cube by 6EI. So this is the strain energy. This is the strain energy U for the given information, for the given deflection due to load or bending moment. So P square L cube by 6EI is the answer. Look at the options. Option A, P square L square by 6EI. 6EI, it should be P square L cube. Okay, half. Okay, option D might be P square L cube by 6EI. Therefore, option D is absolutely correct. I hope you understood. For this problem, since option A is given, only P square L square by 6EI. But the answer is P square L cube by 6EI, because deflection itself is PL cube by 6EI, that is given in the problem. Anyhow, option D is correct. Let us go for the another problem. Look at the next problem. A cantilever beam shown below, the moment to be applied at the free end for zero vertical deflection. So he wanted to avoid the deflection because of this free end load. It may be deflected like this. So this is the deflection. Deflection is denoted by Y. So deflection due to point load at the free end, Y equal to W WL cube by 3EI. This is the formula. Remember this formula. When cantilever beam is subjected to point load at the free end, the maximum deflection is at the free end, that is equal to WL cube by 3I. W into length is given. Of course, W also given. 1 minute. W equal to 9. L equal to 2 cube divided by 3 into E into I. You simplify this value for getting 8 3 is 24 by EI. Anyhow, that is the deflection at the free end. But he wanted to avoid the free end deflection by arranging the moment in this direction. He wanted to avoid. How much momentum is required in the clockwise direction? Definitely it should be in the clockwise. How much momentum is required? So deflection due to bending moment. Deflection due to bending moment, Y equal to formula ML square by 2EI. M into L equal to 2 square by 2EI. Simplify this value, 4M by 2EI. that deflection y equal to 4m. I can simplify this one like this, 2m by ei. This is the deflection due to momentum, but he wanted to avoid the deflection completely. For avoiding the deflection completely, you must apply the moment m. Now equate this relation and this relation for getting the m. So finally it is 2m by ei must be equal to 24 by ei. This ei is cancelled, this ei is cancelled. Finally 2m equal to 24, therefore bending moment m equal to 12 kilonewton meter. It should be in the clockwise. That's the answer. Anyhow, definitely clockwise momentum is required. How much it is required? 12 kilonewton meter. Now look at the options. Look at the option B, 12 kilonewton meter clockwise. Therefore option B is absolutely correct. I hope you understood. Let us go for the another problem. Look at the next problem. This is very important problem. The ratio of flexural strength of two beams of a square section. The first beam being placed with its top and bottom sides horizontally. One beam may be placed like this, but square cross section. The top surface and bottom surface horizontal. A, of course A. For this case, remember section modulus Z equal to A cube by 6. Okay. The other case, and the second beam being placed with one diagonal horizontal. In the second case, it is kept like such that one diagonal is horizontal. One diagonal is horizontal. Might be like this. This is the diagonal, may be horizontal. So in this case, this vertical distance equal to A by root 2, and this horizontal distance equal to root 2a. For this case, the section modulus Z equal to A cube by 6 root 2. Then what he is asking? The ratio of flexural strength. Indirectly, the Z1 by Z2 is how much? Z1 by Z2 equal to A cube by 6 divided by A cube by 6 root 2. A cube 6 cancel. Finally Z1 by Z2 equal to root 2. That is the answer. I hope you understood clearly. Here the flexural strength ratio is measured in terms of section modulus ratio. That's why it is root 2 times. Option A is absolutely correct. Option A is absolutely correct. With this, my dear friends, I am concluding this video. In the next video, I will come with some more problems. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.
Geobyte.